Antonio took Oklahoma City to Game 7. They're under 500 right now, but what do you see in them in terms of Western Conference threat?
Well, you know, it's kind of tough to really. Ooh, oh man!
Oh, rolling back.
My wall was moving.
You're back. It's now against the wall.
Yeah, no. This whole thing is just kind of wacky because, I mean, you look at last night. Obviously, we had a tough game up in Portland. We both had about a 2-hour flight afterwards, or a little over 2-hour flight, and we both played teams that you think are below 500, and we barely win, and Portland gets hammered, you know, and so I don't know where Memphis stands right now. Having said that, obviously they do miss Zach Randolph. I think they're a different team with them, but they still have a lot of athletes and they're well coached. So anything can happen on any given day. That's what I'm starting to figure out here. Where they're going to settle, I don't know. Do I think they're a playoff team with Randolph? Yes, I do. But the reality of it is, I'm not sure.
Have you ever seen the Pau and Marc dynamic when they play each other on the court? Have you seen it on the tape, or did you ever watch one of those games?
I mean, I saw it on tape. I imagine it's probably a little different seeing it live, because that has to be interesting to play against your brother, you know. But I'm looking forward to it, just like they probably are.
Phil used to tease Pau all the time and say, you know, your brother's going to beat you up. He's going to beat you up. Like physically, because Marc's bigger.
Yeah, he's bigger.
Sometimes he would too. It's an interesting matchup to watch.
It's an interesting matchup, and you know they are similar types of players because they both are very, very skilled. Marc is a little bit obviously bigger than him, but you know I'm happy to have Pau.
Yeah.
Coach, just a quick injury update. McRoberts didn't practice.
Correct.
Do not expect him tomorrow.
Correct.
Well. And then Kobe, do you practice but just going for treatment?
Yeah, he practiced. There's some things that we pull him out of during practice, but he practices most of the practice, which he did today.
Mike, you're talking about earlier just how the difficulty of just kind of making sense of the early progress with other teams. And do you think there's a certain point where there's going to be more clarity with that as far as each team goes?
You think so, you know, because once teams start losing and they feel like they don't have a chance, and then then they may not play as hard all the time, and there'll be some separation in the standings, you know. But I don't know when that's going to happen. It seems like every quote-unquote normal year, everybody's excited at the beginning of the year, and then about a month into it, reality sets in, and the excitement wears off, and teams start to separate, and you get a feel of who are the better teams in the East and West, and who are not the better teams. But this time around, I don't have a feel for it, because I still think Dallas is a playoff team. I still think Boston's a playoff team, but those guys have gotten beat, and they've gotten beat handedly. It hadn't been like 2- and 3-point losses, just like Portland. They were quote unquote supposedly the best team in the West, and they get drubbed by 25 or whatever it is. So I don't know. I don't have any answers when it comes to that type of stuff.
Does that make it particularly more difficult from your end with just evaluating your personnel?
It makes it a little bit more difficult because you don't necessarily have a great feel for what everybody else is doing, which doesn't matter really. At the end of the day, you're just worried about yourself, and if we can continue focusing on ourselves, then we'll give ourselves a chance. I think we'll play the way we need to play, and if we can do that, then we'll be fine.